Hello, we're live on the YouTubes and the Twitters, I think, here on the BOINC Radio Discord as well for BOINC Radio, no, BOINC Network Discord for BOINC Radio episode 109. We're going to be giving you some BOINC tips for boinking. Get excited. We've done a lot of boinking. We got more people who have done more boinking than us even, who will hopefully share tips in the chat as we continue. It's not my best intro, but what's up?
Hey, it's really early over here on a Saturday. I had to wake up at 6:30 on a Saturday thanks to daylight savings.
Oh my god, it still blows my mind that we don't have daylight savings
Hold on.
at all times. What am I holding on for? Are you good to go?
Jeringo, you deafened on Discord.
Yeah, I was getting an echo. I'll just mute you.
Yep.
Surprised we haven't figured out how to do this yet. There we go. Yeah. No, it shocks me that we have daylight savings time at different time around the world. It even exists. I don't even know. The sun's fake anyway. Why don't we just make it work? You know?
Yeah, I mean, as a software developer, we deal with daylight savings and time zones all the time, and it's a real pain. It sucks.
Were you live for Y2K?
No, I wasn't. No.
Oh my god.
No.
That fucks with me so much. I can't believe that. Oh man, Y2K was fun. You know what Y2K is, right?
Yeah, I do know. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was a fun
Crazy
time.
times. I'm glad that I was born after it.
Yeah. Bill Gates almost destroyed the world, you know? All right.
Yep.
Well, I feed my dogs. Yeah, you want to eat? Go ahead. You want to talk about your beverage? Because I'm sure you got a tasty one today.
Yes. Okay. So I'm back on the Arizonas. How many of these have you had over there?
What's
Arizona?
Like an iced tea?
Yeah, Arizona. What is this one? All natural orangeade fruit juice cocktail.
I fully believe that exists over here, but all I've ever had or seen is Arizona iced tea.
Are they actually 99 cents?
It says don't know.
99 cents there.
Wait, what? So it's a different price over there, but it says, hey, if you were in the US, this would be 99 cents?
This costs $6 over here.
What?
It's not 99 cents.
Wow. They're closer to 99 cents than $6. I feel pretty confident in sharing. I'm still not 100% sure.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was interested in knowing, like, is it actually 99 cents or because it's definitely not 99 cents here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a pretty standard drink for you.
I guess I do like my Arizonas. I especially like the fact that they're huge. Like, this is great.
Dude.
Fruit juice in a can with this size, brilliant.
We used to set up a LAN in my basement in high school, and we'd get like 8 people on a ping pong table with their desktops, and we would have, oh my god, we would have like pyramids of Mountain Dew and then half-gallon or gallon jugs of Arizona iced tea. Last us for like 12 to 14 hours. That was what a time. What a time. That was before. No, that was after Y2K. But
oh, that's good. Yeah. So let's rate this one. This one tastes like very close to fruit juice. I do have to say. It does say it's all natural. It's orangeade, so I was wondering whether it was going to taste like Fanta or not. It's also vitamin C fortified, which is pretty cool. In terms of sugar content, it's actually pretty good on sugars. It's only 21 grams of sugar per serving. Oh, and there's 3 servings. Okay, so it's actually not.
Don't worry,
it's not very healthy on sugar.
It's fortified with vitamin C. You don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. The antioxidants will handle the sugar part.
Oh, man, that's great.
I do have to say it is really nice. It's very mildly. I think it's sparkling. No, sorry, not sparkling, not carbonated. Unless maybe it just went flat while I was taking it home. It would have been nice to probably have it a little bit carbonated. Other than that, it is a little bit watered down, but the fruit juice tastes pretty much just like the fruit juice we have here in Australia. And fruit juice we have here is pretty good. So I rate this one probably about a 6 out of 10.
Is this your highest
Yeah.
rated beverage?
No, I've probably had better. I've probably had better beverages.
All
Some
right.
of the oak ones score like a 9 or a 10. I'm pretty sure.
Wow. Gosh, for anyone who
The
doesn't know what
classics.
the hell we're talking about on the BOINC Radio with beverages, this man has had a different beverage basically every week for the past year and a half, 2 years. We're on episode 108. So that's over 2 years at this point because we're now doing bi-weekly, twice a month. This is nuts.
It all
But hey,
started with tea.
it did. Oh man, your tea bags.
Yep.
So that said, let's get into the real BOINC stuff. We got some BOINC news for you coming out of World Community Grid Smash Childhood Cancer. They have new team members and research projects at SCC. Nikita Rozanov is the newest member, recent graduate from Oregon State University with Bachelor's in Science Chemical Engineering. Oh, cool. Used to be software engineer at Intel and Amazon. So wow, okay. Programming in science. That's interesting. His interests are in molecular research using computer modeled simulations, and began working as a visiting researcher at Johns Hopkins, where they developed molecular dynamic simulations to predict how nanoparticles interact with proteins. So it sounds like a perfect fit for SMASH childhood cancer. They are also, the new aspect of the project is they're targeting a new protein, FL, I'm going to assume that's a I, capital I, no, yeah, FLI1, a member of the ETS transcription factor family that controls cell proliferation, differentiation, and survival. Just going to say these guys don't use Oxford commas, and I am now judging World Community Grid at a level I've never judged World Community Grid before. So there's a new target protein. I'm guessing these are work units that are up and running, and you can download them and help smash childhood cancer right now. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. I guess I'll do the TN Grid news.
Sure.
Yeah, so for those of you that crunch TN Grid, actually, before we talk about it, for those of you that don't know what TN Grid is, BOINC project that does a lot of gene analysis, kind of like analyzing genes and like, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else you can do with genes. And we're talking genes as in starting with G, not J. So TN Grid is actually almost finished. Their Homo sapiens project called Phantom 1. It started all the way back in March of 2018, and pretty much all of the work units have been distributed out. They say that they have to distribute just a couple more because, of course, with BOINC projects, sometimes you get people aborting tasks, failing tasks, not getting by the deadline, and so forth. So yeah, congratulations to everyone who ran TN Grid. I know that I was running TN Grid for a long time previously until they started kind of getting a bit flaky with the work units. So yeah, congratulations everyone. We've completed the gene analysis for Phantom 1. So hopefully after this, they'll probably have a paper coming out. And the importance of these genes is that it has medical relevance for two broad families of human pathologies, which are motor neuron disease and that's not poetic, but tumors of some sort.
Take a page out of my book and just start saying letters. Whatever comes out, comes out.
Hematopoietic.
That sounds great.
Hematopoietic tumors. Yeah, okay. But yeah, those are the two main areas that they're focusing on with this project, and hopefully we'll get some really good results out of here to see where we can improve on those two particular medical fields.
So 2018, right? Is when they started that?
That's what they said in the forum post. So yeah, started in March 2018.
That's wild. It's that's 5 years. And it's just like, yeah, you've got your computer on, it's doing some work units in the background. Every once in a while, sometimes you switch off the project, sometimes you switch back onto the project, sometimes you turn it off because it's winter, or no, because it's summer and you're overheating your room and your roommates are complaining. about the electric bill or something like that. And then next thing you know, 5 years later, you've finished the project. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's the power of distributed computing.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on this because hopefully they'll be releasing some sort of paper in terms of where the TN Grid project is going. There is a big thread, I think. There's a big thread on their website by the looks of it. Oh, it's not that big, but let's see here. Very briefly, at the end of Phantom experiment, we'll collect the data, do some statistical and biological analysis. Targets will be one or more publications and a web service to make the results available to the scientific community. For the future, we are playing with a brand new Vitis vinifera dataset, which will probably continue to do something related to the mouse. New tasks should be related to single-cell data, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Okay. And for those that are wondering where TN Grid is going from here, they'll be looking at mice.
Ooh.
Yeah. They've said that they've hinted at the fact that they're going to be looking at some data that comes from mice in terms of their genome. So,
like inputs during first-person shooter gaming, or damn, I'm hilarious.
No, we're talking about the mice that your cats go and eat.
Of course, some cats. I know some lazy cats out there, man. So, speaking of news, by the way, anyone who's interested in helping put together a monthly newsletter for BOINC, think of it as last month in BOINC, reach out. The SCI has some resources they want to put behind doing just that. We've got the Substack that we can post it on. We've got a newsletter of folks who I'm sure would love to sign up to receive this one. Of course, if you're signed up to a current newsletter or current thread on our Substack, you will not automatically be put onto this one. You'll have to opt into it. But yeah, we want to go around, collate. Is collate the right word? Aggregate all the news we can find, including stuff that is not published proactively by BOINC projects. We want to go out on forums and try and pull the news out of folks, because sometimes people don't post it unless they know it's going to go in front of people's eyeballs.
We need people running around going to all the researchers with their microphones and saying, what's going on now?
Yeah. So if that piques your interest, again, the SCI has some resources we want to put behind it. There is money to be had. It will not be much money, but there is money for your time, because we do appreciate that this is a task to be done. So reach out to either me or Delta, and we will put you in the loop. That said, is there any other BOINC news this week?
I don't think so. Those were the major ones that were in our little news feed. I think we should just get straight into the topic.
All right, BOINC tips. I'll kick it off with a quick one, and then I'm going to start doing some dishes. So you take the next ones, and I'll be back by the time you're done with your tips.
Cool.
So mine is to go check out the new, if you're trying to get your friends to BOINC, check out the new BOINC tutorials on YouTube, on the SCI YouTube, where the SCI has put together, I basically already said it, BOINC tutorials. They're 5-minute install videos, less than 5 minutes, really easy setup, some nice music, some good voiceovers. It just gets you into it without all the technical requirements. You can do a lot of really interesting stuff that I'm sure Delta is about to bring up with BOINC, but you don't necessarily need to do the stuff just to use it. So again, get out there, share BOINC with your friends, family, etc. There are now very, very simple, easy, quick videos to follow to get it all set up. So that's my BOINC tip.
Cool. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add those links to the podcast links after this. So for those of you that are wondering where you can get those YouTube links, you can probably check the stream that you're either watching or listening to, or just go to the Science Commons Initiative on YouTube and they'll be right there. Cool. Any other BOINC tips from you?
I got a couple. I'll fill in where you leave out.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'll just get straight into it. Where to start? There's a lot of different things that you can do in BOINC. I'd probably start with getting to know your computer hardware. So usually with most desktop computers, you have a CPU and a GPU. CPU is kind of like the workhorse of the computer. It does pretty much almost anything on the computer. It crunches the numbers. People call it the brain of the computer. I don't really like calling it the brain of the computer because it's not exactly smart. But yeah, so the CPU can do a decent amount of stuff. The GPU, however, is a more specialized piece of hardware. Generally, it's more powerful than a CPU depending on what task you're doing. And it's mainly used for graphics. And the reason why it's used for graphics and the CPU is not used for graphics is because the one thing that we can do with graphics is split up the task into lots and lots and lots of small units. A lot of BOINC tasks also do this. For example, Einstein at Home will split up probably their fast Fourier transforms into many, 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 many tiny, tiny little tasks to send through the GPU. Now, some people like to use their GPU because it accomplishes a whole lot more work, but some people don't. And some people want to crunch a project, but they don't want to get the GPU work units. Okay, so how do you stop your graphics card from getting GPU work units from a particular project? And there are kind of two ways to do this. The easiest way to do it is to go into your BOINC manager and set it to suspend GPU. So I think, let me get my BOINC manager open. Yep, so you click on activity and then you click suspend GPU. What this will do is it'll basically stop your GPU from being used for BOINC at all. And as a result, it won't get any of the GPU work units from the BOINC project. But the thing is, what if you want to crunch GPU work units on one project, but CPU work units on a different project? This is where it gets a little bit more complicated, and you'll need to actually go to the project website to actually do this. So if you're on the project website, log in. Somewhere in your preferences in the settings for the website, you'll find, I think it's called project preferences. Inside of that, it'll ask you, would you like CPU work units? Would you like NVIDIA GPU work units? Would you like AMD GPU work units? And so forth. So you can just go in there and check or uncheck them and then hit save. Then back in your BOINC manager, you're going to want to either restart or just simply click on the project and click update. And then that'll fetch those new preferences. And hopefully from then on, you'll stop getting GPU work units. And the same goes vice versa. If you want only GPU work units and no CPU work units, like myself, do the same thing. Go into the preferences, uncheck the boxes, and there you go. So yeah, that's my first. That's the first BOINC tip.
Let me break that down into a couple very easy, simple sentence tips. Did you know, first of all, that there is an advanced preferences advanced view for BOINC? If you go in there, you're going to get a bunch more options in terms of how to BOINC. On top of that, did you know that some projects have CPU and GPU work units, and you can choose which ones you want to crunch? That's an interesting tidbit, interesting tip. Did you know that different hardware is going to work better on different projects? It's going to take a lot of work to figure out which ones are best for your hardware, but you can do that. Join the BOINC network community, go on forums, etc. So basically the tip there is figure out what works best on your hardware, so you're being very economically efficient with your hardware. Did you know you can change your user preferences on BOINC project websites themselves? There's more preferences than are in the BOINC manager. Go to the website, figure it out. And then, of course, great tip, join the BOINC network Discord server, talk to the community, have them figure out what to do with your hardware, because really that's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say another great tip is listen to all these podcasts every single fortnight, so that you can get the latest BOINC news into your brain and the latest BOINC tips.
It is wild. Go back and listen to the other episodes. We've talked about all this stuff before.
Yep. Okay. Other things that you can do. BOINC teams. So it's possible to start your own team or connect to an existing one. Usually, most of the countries of the world have their own team. I know there's BOINC Australia, there's BOINC Germany. I know there's Team USA. I think there's Team China as well. And yeah, so there's like a whole bunch of BOINC teams out there. And the great thing about BOINC teams is it creates a little bit of gamification. So I don't know, just a wild example. Let's say you work in an office, for example, and you've got a whole bunch of your coworkers in the office who say that they can crunch more BOINC than you. You feel threatened by that. So what you do is you make your own team in the office. And then now there's two teams in the office who are crunching BOINC and trying to get the most credits. So yeah, if you want to go and start your own team or join an existing one, you can do that via the project website, and you can log in with your account for the project and choose which team you're on. And actually, on that note, if you want to know how well you or your team are doing, you can go to BOINC Stats. BOINC Stats is a website which kind of aggregates all of the statistics from most BOINC projects. And it'll give you a long-term breakdown of how your credit has increased over time. And so if you want to see statistics on how many credits you have, how much stuff you've crunched, how much you're kind of predicted to crunch in the next couple of days, things like that, and seeing how other teams are ranked, how other projects are ranked, credit totals with some eye-watering numbers. Yeah, go on there, check it out, punch in your username, and you should be able to find most of the stuff. A good tip with that is usually with all the BOINC projects, keep your username the same because it makes it easier for you to aggregate all your statistics.
Oh, that is a great tip. That's a magic tip.
That's really magic tip. And yeah, because it just makes statistics aggregation so much better. And because I think one time I remember I think I made an account on a different project, which I didn't really pick up and use. And I accidentally made a typo on my username. And I remember punching in my username to BOINC Stats, and I found that that username that had a typo in it. So yeah, make sure your username is the same across all projects. That makes it easier for statistics aggregators. Okay, yeah, that's teams. Another interesting thing also related to BOINC Stats is the BOINC account manager. So let's say that you have a whole bunch of computers, like we're talking like maybe 100 computers. All right, and you have an opportunity to put BOINC on all of them. I don't know how you would get the electricity to do all that. Maybe you've got a crazy, wicked solar array or something like that. You need to put BOINC on all those computers, and you need to manage them. Oh, it looks like we just lost Craig. That's okay. Can you still hear me, Jeringa?
Yes, sir. We're still
cool.
I got everything else going, so we can just rip the audio
later. Yeah, cool. So yeah, with BOINC Account Manager, basically it's kind of like saying, okay, we have all these computers that we want to manage, but I only want to manage them on one account. And you can do that with BOINC Account Manager. Install BOINC on all those machines, connect them to your account manager on BOINC Account Manager or BAM. And then basically what you do is go into BAM, punch in which project you want to do, and then click done. And then eventually all those machines will update themselves with those new projects, with those new preferences. Whatever you set on BAM will be reflected in the BOINC managers on the actual computers. So if you want a really super easy way to get BOINC on a whole bunch of computers, that's probably the way to go. Okay, moving on. You can get BOINC on your phone. The BOINC mobile app only works for Android because iOS is a bit of a pain to program for, and also to get licensing and permission to get on the App Store and all that crazy crap. But on Android, you are able to run BOINC. Only one problem is it's not in the Play Store, and it's not in any of the kind of modern app stores that you have on Android. And the reason this is because of the way that BOINC works. BOINC has to pull executable files from the internet and execute them pretty much, because that's what it is. You go to the projects, you get the app, and you run the app. And because it does that, it violates the Play Store policies. So there are two ways that you can get the official BOINC for Android app. You can either go to the official BOINC website, and I think it's in the download sections, if I'm not mistaken. Otherwise, if you have F-Droid, which is an alternative Play Store for apps on Android, you can also get BOINC from there, and it's a nice and easy installer. So if you have some old phones lying around, if you want to put BOINC on your mobile phone to have it crunching work units overnight while it's charging, go for it. Talking about BOINC on mobile is its own rabbit hole, so we'll probably keep it light in terms of BOINC tips. But you can get BOINC on your phone. Any opinions on that, Django?
Don't blow up your battery.
Yes, yeah. I think probably the most important tip that we can give with mobile phones is don't let them get hot. So try and probably limit the amount of tasks that you can currently doing with your mobile phone. I know that the BOINC app actually has its own setting which says don't crunch if the battery is above this temperature. I don't know how reliable that setting is, because some phones might not actually support that data, especially I think the older ones. But yeah, you can use BOINC on Android. Yeah, just make sure that you're not making the phone too hot. Otherwise, yes, the battery will inflate and it can turn into a fire hazard. So yeah, fair warning for that.
Ooh, I've got a solid tip here.
Yep.
Shut up and contribute. BOINC is open source software. You can come in and you don't even need to code to contribute. There's lots of things you can do. You can come in through one of the communities, one of the teams that Delta was talking about, find a community that way. Or you can just find your own way to contribute and contribute however the hell you want. It's a free software, open source. Get out there, code, market, tell people about it, be annoying to your relatives. And and if you want resources to do stuff, there are places to get resources. There's like national grants, etc. There are, like, I will say the SCI again. I'm trying not to shill it though, but we are here to try and get some resources, some money behind BOINC, and people who are contributing to BOINC. So don't think that there isn't money out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do this for free pretty much.
Me too.
Yourself sharing it.
Yeah. So, no, most everyone at the SCI works for free. We're all volunteers who've been doing this forever. BOINC's been here, or Jim, our main tech guy, has been there for since Study at Home. Like, he's one of the largest contributors to BOINC. We've all been doing this for a very long time. We don't get paid. We are all volunteers, but we want to use any money we raise to support the BOINC ecosystem. So that's the goal there.
Yeah, just a message in the chat. We got someone saying that they actually use. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah. So some people in the community have like what's called a Pi cluster. So they get a whole bunch of Raspberry Pi computers and they just like stack them together somehow, and they stick BOINC on all of them, attach them with BAM, and then bam, you got BOINC. And so it's a much easier way to manage all those Raspberry Pis instead of going on them and configuring BOINC yourself, configuring the project, logging in, and so forth. It's just mental. It's just not worth it. Use BAM. So going forward, choosing new projects. Okay, now a lot of the time in BOINC, you'll be choosing a project. Reasons are because sometimes projects might go down temporarily. Sometimes projects might complete, like we pretty much saw with TN Grid, and then they might take a little while until they get some more data to come back. Otherwise, some projects just like die, like they disappear. So you'll be definitely searching for projects. And the best way there's a couple way to actually search for projects. Probably the best way is on the official BOINC website, where you can see a list of mostly active projects and ones that are pretty well regarded. There's also a lot of information there as well, so you can get to know what the projects do, what sort of data they crunch, what science should be doing. So you can kind of categorize it to see which projects you're interested in and follow them and research them a little bit more. You can also check out the project list within the actual BOINC manager when you go in to add a project to the BOINC manager. And then from there, it kind of gets a bit interesting. I know that there is a web page somewhere out there which goes through and lists all of the previously active and inactive projects. So you can go on there and actually take a look at pretty much an exhaustive list of all projects. I'll see if I can find the link again, but I know it exists. Otherwise, coming into the community and talking with the community about what different projects they're crunching is another good way to actually understand projects, what they're doing, and how they work. And sometimes you can even come in here and chat to some project admins too. There's a lot of project admins in here who are decently active, and they ask a lot of questions, a lot of technical questions, but they also answer a lot of community queries as well. So yeah, engage with the community, talk about science, talk about the stuff that you're interested in, and chances are there's a project for you. Any other tips on picking projects, Jeringo?
No, I think that's good. Do what you love and keep an eye out for new projects. Because sometimes you just want to change what you're crunching. That's the power.
Yeah.
You get to choose what you do with your power.
I was crunching prime grid for a while until I found a couple primes, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. Let's move on. And so I went into, I started out with Einstein, tried prime grid because I wanted to find a prime, found my prime. I'm happy, move on. I like a lot of the kind of computational and I guess kind of a bit of the biology projects as well. Einstein at home has been my full favorite though. As I said earlier, I did crunch TN Grid for a while. And what am I crunching now? SR base. Yeah. I'm doing a little SR base for myself personally. I might get back into Einstein at home because I want to find that gamma ray pulsar.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah. We're 30 minutes in. Should we start to wrap it up?
Well, are there any more tips? We got.
I've exhausted all my ones that I came up with.
All BOINC projects, boincsynergy.ca/wiki/index.
Thank you, contact. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a long link. Just go to boincsynergy.ca and you'll find it eventually on the wiki.
Hopefully, yeah. Okay, let's wrap it up.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, see you. Thanks for watching.